All right. Welcome back to the third and
Fourth.
fourth. Oh, gosh, wow. Okay. Whew. Long night, long night. Fourth and final round here at Guardian Games, Modern Mondays. And we've got one person that we've already seen, and then a new player here in the feature match area.
So yeah, we are going to see Trevor again. He's found his way to table 1 for the final round. And against him is going to be Nick Beekert, who is playing Spaghetti and Taxes. So Nick is someone who's a big fan of... So here we go. We're going to look at seeing displays here, a couple of Thalias. We'll get to the hand in a second. Nick is a big fan of experimenting with white Taxes decks, and often he's more on the 2-drop white Taxes kind of plan. But this time around, I have been told that he is packing some Eldrazi.
Yeah. I'm curious if Stoneforge is going to be in the deck or not.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay, I asked him. It's not.
Oh.
Sorry. I tried, but there is no Stoneforge Mystic right now.
Yeah, I keep having decks that maybe could play Stoneforge, then when I put it in, it's not as good as I want it to be.
I mean, I think it's a little bit... Yeah, people, I think, are trying it too much because they're just like, yay, finally Stoneforge. And we'll see it settle down. So we're going to see a turn 1 Giver of Runes from Nick, following with a Thalia.
Sure.
That Thalia chick. So annoying. Yeah, here at Guardian, it's 45-minute rounds just to keep people able to go to bed at a reasonable hour, get back to work in the morning.
Yeah, they close the shop at 10 o'clock, and folks don't really want to stay later. And we know Magic players, when you call time in round, things tend to slow down quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, phew. Finally, we have time. Not like anyone wants to get out of here. I mean, honestly, I don't either. I'll just forget it in the morning.
I mean, I thought we were in round 3, but so I just basically gained an hour off
You
my
were
life.
ready to,
Yeah.
to party all night. Stay young forever. Just play another round.
So, interesting, Trevor is playing Snow-Covered Mountain?
Why not?
Why not?
Mountain's a mountain, and you can bluff the red snow spell that totally exists.
Scred?
Yeah, no, maybe you're on Scred.
Maybe
Scred
you-
shift.
Yeah. If you turn 1 fetch for Snow-Covered Mountain, your opponent might make a different decision, not
That's
knowing
true.
you're on Titanshift. All right, we got a block with Secure Tribe Elder because no one told us why he was called Steve, so I'm just going to...
We did actually get an answer
You
to
got
that.
an answer?
The answer was mostly that it's STE, and
Yeah.
that just sort of like fell into Steve in a
Okay.
somewhat accidental fashion. I don't know if that's canon, but it seems like a reasonable explanation to me. You can trigger Field of the Dead easier with Snowlands if you're playing it. That's a very good point. Field of the Dead, more different named lands.
Yeah.
That does it.
That makes sense. I
Thank you,
don't
chat.
think Trevor's playing that, but I could definitely see Amulet playing that for sure, and that would make sense to have the Snowland in there.
We have another Steve. We have an Eldrazi Displacer joining the party for Nick.
So Nick's creatures are going to be pretty protected here, except you're going to have to put on a little faster of a clock, I think.
Yeah, I want to be beating Trevor down right now if we can. What do you got? We're going to flicker something. Get out of the way. Speaking of beats. It's until end of turn. Oh, he's going to sack in response. Makes sense. Get out of here.
Just a way to get through some ground
Yeah.
creatures here.
Combat. 5.
We're just going to 5 you.
13.
13.
Your turn.
Okay, so here we are. We've got, not including the giver, we were looking at 6 power on the board. And if we swing with the giver, if we have to. Okay, well, that changes the clock. Here's an Obstinate Baloth.
Main deck Baloth.
Go.
Is it a gain 5?
It's game 4?
Is it 4 or 5?
Game 4? Baloth is
He was
game
at 13.
4. Okay.
So 17 was right.
Yeah, Baloth is gain 4. The Thragtusk is gain 5. All those green creatures with the ETB gain life effects.
Oh, I was completely thinking of Thragtusk.
So you may not have known this because I haven't known you for a super long time, but I used to be a big Taxes player. Loved the deck. And still have, there's a fondness in my heart for it.
I consider that to be... I mean, I like you, Travis, but I do consider a fondness for Taxes strategies to be a bit of a character flaw.
Oh, I just love, I love the Leonin Arbiter Ghost Quarter somebody. Just feels there's
I'll go to
I have
step.
a kind of guilty pleasure of blowing up people's lands.
I actually can respect that because as a griefer myself, I can respect that. It's Thalia. Like honestly, I hate.
Sure.
I just
With
every time someone plays a Thalia on turn 2, I just
Glade.
roll my eyes. Okay,
This is your end step, right?
so
Correct.
we're flickering, and we're gonna target.
So that's going to come back on. It's exile, then it's going
A
to come
land.
back on. You can put it under the flicker list.
Oh, okay, sure.
Huh.
Come back on your end. So
Gotcha.
Good.
Good.
Yep.
So we're just gonna get that out of here so he can't use it. We're doing that end step after end step triggers have gone on the stack so that it will spend a turn in jail. So Trevor cannot hit 6 this turn, which will prevent a Primeval Titan. Yeah, I'm sorry, Vile Flicker Wisp. You seem really nice. It's a lot of good men in service to bad causes.
Ooh, man, wow.
Hey, if you know that quote, chat, then extra props.
Yeah, Vile Flicker
Someone
is,
know that source.
is one of our more loyal followers here.
Oh, Sweltering Suns. This is not good for Nick. This
I bet
is
Trevor wasn't cycling that either. We're casting it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a cycle. That is a board wipe.
No, Yevonix, the taxes list unfortunately does not have Stoneforge. I was hoping it did.
I'm at
Sorry.
13.
No.
So we're gonna swing with the Baloth, dropping Nick. I think he said to 13. He's been sapping that Sunbake Canyon.
How did the Flicker Wisp?
The Flicker was survived because the Giver protected it from damage.
Oh, got it.
Because, as we know, protection is 4 abilities. With the acronym DET. Damage, enchantment and equipment, blocking, and targeting. So here we go. Thraben Inspector, get a clue.
Did you go to judge school?
I was a judge back in the day. I was back when there were 5 levels of judge. I was an L3.
Yeah, back when there were judges that you didn't have to pay to go to school. I was a judge too.
About that. Yeah, so you could say I've been to a couple pro tours, as it turns out.
You've seen some things.
I've seen things. All right, Prismatic Omen. Gonna
Oh.
just grease the wheels on this Scape Shift.
Yeah, so we saw Trevor play a match earlier and hadn't seen the Omen, didn't know it was in the deck, but that does make the Scape Shift our primetime kills faster because your Valakuts are mountains.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of, Scape Shift decks, depending on the meta, will move in and out of Prismatic Vista because it makes you faster, but I think, I'm not super familiar with the archetype, but I think you lose a little bit of maybe Lightning Bolts or just a little bit of interaction for it, but I'm not positive what comes out for the Vista, or for the Omen.
Combat.
All I know is it just speeds you up a bit. So, Flicker Wisp, to your face. Lightning Bolt. No thank you. I do not want to take 3.
It has been a while since I've really delved into the Titanshift, our Breach Titan, etc. Valakut decks, but I think it's some kind of Farseek effect that we're replacing
Okay.
with the Vista, which the argument is kind of it's a turn faster, but then usually if you had the Farseek, then you'd have another land a turn sooner.
Yeah.
So it more enables like different outs with Valakuts and not having extra mountains.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And actually, since we saw Trevor earlier, we haven't seen a Farseek from his deck at all. So we're going to have an Explore here, draw a card. If we have another land, we can just drop that straight into play. Is the Valakut player out of lands? Huh. Odd spot. No more lands.
So probably Nicholas feels a little bit of a reprieve from
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna breathe a sigh of relief there. Still a little worried about this spot. He can keep swinging with the Flicker. He's got a Flicker Wisp still to swing with.
And you've got a
but
clue to crack. Who knows what's on top of the library?
Maybe he can get a clue.
I'll crack the clue.
Yes, we are.
Hmm?
It's a Sunbake Canyon. That's a
Real quick.
redraw, but these redraws are, as it were, taxing Nick's mana pretty
Oh.
badly. You got yourself.
I wonder if we're still playing the old Arbiter here with that Ghost Quarter. Because
You've
Arbiter
gotta be.
seems pretty sweet against Titanshift.
Yeah, no kidding.
In fact, it may be even worth just cracking through some of these lands to find it if it's in the deck.
Do I get flicker risk?
He's got the bolt.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do not want to take 3 every turn. Sensible position. All right.
So you know if Trevor isn't drawing lands or cards that find him lands, there must be some prime times hanging out.
Yeah, he's
Prime
got-
times or escape shifts in that hand, and there's a lot of cards.
He's got stuff. All right, we picked up another Thraben Inspector.
Crack the other Sunbake
Yeah, we cracked 1 Toasty Canyon end of turn. We're gonna crack another right now. Oh, these are both end of turn. Yeah, Thraben Inspector came off the Sunbake Canyon. Plains, or do you know what land that is? I don't recognize
I
it.
think it's a desert, but I don't remember which one it is.
Okay,
Combat.
White Desert off the other one.
Yeah, if chat wants to shout out the name and let us know what it does.
Eldrazi Displacer.
Here's the Displacer.
Play Giver Burns. Pass.
Sheffet Dunes.
Thalia.
Kevin, can you let us know what it does? 2 white. Tap sack. He's gonna get it before you do.
Yep.
All right. Give another lightning bolt. That's the 3rd lightning bolt. No Thalia, thanks. +1/+1 to your team. That's so fair. Prime time.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh
Okay, this
boy.
is not looking good for Nick.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're gonna get 5 and 6 mountains probably. Oh,
So 12 damage.
12 damage.
Yeah, well,
Boom,
we
boom.
got those Valakuts
Those are 2
And-
Valak at the Molten Pinnacle.
that are also mountains.
Yep. Prismatic Omen. This is what Prismatic Omen does.
Yeah, you got it.
That's some rude mountains. All right, that looked pretty decisive for Trevor. So we went over Trevor's sideboard earlier. We can go over it again in a second, but let's take a look at what Nick has available. We are looking at 1 Settle the Wreckage, 1 Winds of Abandon, 1 Wing Shards, 1 I photographed this poorly. Is it a Blessed?
I'm guessing it's a Blessed Alliance.
Blessed Alliance, 1 Burnt and Forge Tender, 1 Karn Scion of Urza, 2 Gideon Ally of Zendikar, 1 Leonin Relic Warder, 1 Core Firewalker, 3 Rest in Peace, 2 Stony Silence. What do you like here?
There's not a lot in there that I think is really relevant. The Gideon might be worth it just to be able to create a token and then as an Anthem effect after that, because Death and Taxes or Spaghetti and Taxes is going to be pretty slow, and you're going to have to just maybe find a way to speed up. And if there's worse cards, like I don't think Thraben Inspector is that great. You do want to play on curve, but there's a consideration for Gideon, but I don't know anything else I'd want to bring in particularly.
Yeah, not in love with a lot of this. You could consider, I don't know, Winds of Abandon as a path for prime time, but you know the initial trigger is enough value that it may not be worth your time.
And Forge Tinder gets, has your team survive Sweltering Suns or Anger of the Gods if that's in the board.
Oh, that's
so
not bad.
could that's probably better than Thraben Inspector
Yeah,
too.
actually, on those grounds, I like Barrington Forge Tender here. Let's do a quick review of Trevor's sideboard. I'm gonna find it real quick. Trevor has available 2 Tireless Tracker, 2 more Obstinate Bailoff and a Braid, a Rex Sage, 2 Veil of Summer, 2 Anger of the Gods, 3 Damping Sphere, and 2 Force of Vigor. Love Anger of the Gods. Seems real great. If you're thinking about playing a grindy game here, maybe you want Tracker. Maybe you just want to go more Bailoff. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Bailoff really sort of will stall the game on the ground, and Nicholas is only going to have 4 paths, and the paths are going to ramp you up to playing your prime time. So I do like Bailoff. Tracker, not super into. I want stuff that is going to block favorably and either act as a removal magnet or ramp. So
That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I like Bailoff and I like Anger because, you know, Nick has to play sort of a... he has to play a quantity of these hate bears to really meaningfully disrupt Trevor, and so those small board wipes are going to do a ton of work. So, Nick, Thraben Inspector, follow Thalia, doing the Taxes curve.
I really wanted to see the Leonin Arbiter, and then we have the Ghost
I don't know
Quarter.
if he's playing it. I feel like he must be.
If you're not playing Stoneforge, I imagine you play the Arbiter.
I would assume.
But you know, maybe it's experimenting with maybe he's experimenting with something else.
He's always experimenting with the hate bears. So hateful.
Go.
No, we do see, I think, a Thought Knot picked up.
So those must be main deck then. All right, we're gonna fetch.
It looks like Kevin's saying
gonna
in his build he's on Ranger Captain, so
Ooh.
the Forge Tinder is pretty sweet insurance.
Ooh. Well, if that ain't spicy.
I like how you have the toolbox of 1-drops now with the Captain hanging out.
Yeah, and I also like that, you know, especially in a taxes list where you're squeezing your opponent to try to get their spells through, just being able to take a critical turn and say, nah, you can't do it.
And I also guess if you're playing Captain, you don't really want to be playing Arbiter, so maybe there's a bit of dyssynergy there.
Absolutely.
Thought not to here.
Thought, not thought so. Ooh, that's a lot of things to look at. That's 2 Scape Shifts, 1 Summoner's Pact, and a Sweltering Suns. You don't like Sweltering Suns. You don't want him to Scape Shift. You don't want him to pack for Titan. And he's got 2 more lands, so everything's live.
Do we have 2 different Scape Shift arts?
Those are 2 different Scape Shifts. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to make do with what you have.
It's a fact. The Stomping Grounds match, at least. Yeah, if I'm Nick, I'm not super pleased to see this. I think, oh man, I'm not super pleased to see this. I don't know what you take here. What do you think? Like, I mean, 1 Scape Shift seems as good as 2 unless you have a plan for stopping one of them. Sweltering Suns is terrible for you.
So we have 2 Scape Shifts, Sweltering Suns,
And a Summoner's
Pact.
It's just
I feel like you maybe take Sweltering Suns just because you're going to have to hope that Trevor stumbles a little bit here.
he's got 2 more lands in hand.
I know, but you have to hope that maybe
Thoughts
maybe
and
that's
prayers.
it.
Thoughts and prayers, Nick.
There is a Ghost Quarter, which makes escape shift math.
He does take Escape Shift here.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Write it down.
Sure. Was it some Scape Shift,
So maybe
Pact, Suns?
Okay.
Trevor does have the option of like untapping, Scape Shifting for a ton. Scape Shifting twice doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Maybe if there's another Thought Knot or a Displacer, you're
That would
hoping
make a lot of
to
sense.
nab all the escape shifts.
White Border Mountains and different Snowland arts. Oh, chat's just asking the players to tilt me straight out of this booth.
I feel like if you're playing a tilting deck, I once had a friend that played Titanshift and he white-bordered all of his shock lands.
Oh my god. Intentionally whiteboarding a card.
If Sven is watching, that
Just
shout out to Sven. I think it was some kind of lands deck, but all the shock lands were white-bordered.
yeah, worth noting. Escape Shift exiled. Almost certainly not relevant, but boop boop boop. Have some life back. Really rough on these Taxes decks that are just trying to bleed you with little creatures to just be gaining basically an attack back. They're trying to win by edges, and so something like Obstinate Bailiff is real annoying.
Yeah, usually the Taxes bears match up poorly with the other bears that your opponents are playing at the same mana cost, just in terms of stats for power and toughness. Usually you're hoping to eke those abilities to accrue some advantage.
Yeah. Notably, I think that's why Taxes strategies tend to be quite hard to play, is your margins are narrow. You don't get free wins. You don't get overkills. Everything's narrow.
Well,
Except
you
that
used
Thought
to
Knot's
get
here is pretty thick. Sorry.
used to get free wins when you played Leon and Arbiter and Ghost Quarter.
Get free grief. So we're going to see a path on the Obstinate Bailiff.
It's a Gideon's Spellbook path.
Is that a lightning bolt?
Did we draw a card? Oh wait, no. That's a Bailoff, not the Thought Knot's here.
No. We're pathing the Bailoff. That is our fifth mountain. So we are up to mountains or lightning bolts. What's the best forest color and where's it, green or white?
7?
It's green.
7?
You're welcome. Trophy's a more universal answer, which is what you're playing the green for. You hit anything you could really want to hate. Teferi is fine, but I think Trophy is just better. Yeah, Scape Shift is exiled. If he snaps Scape Shifts, we'll call it. Sorry.
We don't
A
have
little
the
bit of
direct,
bad attitude, sorry.
We don't have the direct line to the judges here, and it is regular REL, but that's something where if we notice that there's an egregious violation that'll affect gameplay, we'll pause and go out and mention it to the players.
Yeah. Okay, we're picking it up here. That was pretty...
Oh,
I'll go first.
all right.
Yep.
Felt like we were just a payoff spell or so away there, but weren't able to put it together for Trevor. But at least we get a game 3.
Yeah. Got a little distracted by the where's the question. I'm a little bit passionate about my Mox Opals.
So you don't want to draw?
Now that we're on camera, right?
Yeah.
May as well. I'll just play it out. It's fine.
Play it out. All right.
Yeah, players were discussing a draw, and people are entitled to do whatever they feel so inclined, but that's usually a caveat that we have for the last match is the top rated table that doesn't draw, but there's no stopping us from preventing people from drawing, but play for all the marbles, I say.
Yes. We like to see matches with something on the line.
If Twin was unbanned, who would win between Twin and Urza? Twin would win, because Twin would remand Urza and then combo off.
Yeah, you get to play tempo cards. Twin it to win it.
Although I do feel like that is kind of an apt comparison. I feel like Urza feels the role that Twin does is a deck that can just play Magic, and you have Urza and Constructs, and you can start attacking, then you have this infinite combo sometimes, but then you have a value combo just with Thopter Sword. So you're able to play like a fair game with the I win outlet, which is sort of what Twin was doing in its heyday. And so I feel like they're pretty, even though they play very differently, they fill a similar role as being perhaps like a best deck with a combo win in it that also plays fair.
I actually think that's a really good analysis. I'm fully behind that. That's why the Where's the deck is so cool. It's just, mostly flexible, and then game's over. All right. Nick keeping a 6. Trevor keeping a 6.
This is the first game that we've seen Nick have the Aether Vial. So I feel like the Taxes list plays so differently when you have the turn 1 Vial.
Oh, yeah. This is good. He picked up a second one, which is less useful, but it makes so much use of Vial shenanigans. Vial, Flicker Wisp, all kinds of stuff. Not to mention just being able to deploy your hate so much. Looks like he did bring in the Gideons. I see one in hand. We do have a Flicker Wisp, Vial, Gideon, Thought-Knot Seer, and another land. Double Vial. Absolutely Vial. Can't stand it. Just gonna hit land drops for Titanshift. No ramping here. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben is the pickup. So we're gonna probably see a Thalia and a Thought-Knot Seer.
I'm at 19.
That'll do some work. Gonna take one off our Horizon Canopy. Deploy the Thought-Knot Seer. Let me see your thoughts.
And Anger Pact Bolts.
Anger Pact Bolt. I can see an argument for taking... I would take Pact here, actually. And just hope you can clip him. And then you can... I mean, Thalia's going to get bolted either way. He's going to take the Anger. Okay. So we're going to be okay with the Pact.
Yeah.
I think we have a Flicker Wisp.
Yeah,
too.
we can. Yeah, we have a Flicker Wisp. We don't have a Vial on 3, but next turn we can Flicker the Thought-Knot Seer.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think maybe I'm happier taking Pact first and Anger second, because Anger is a sorcery we can Vial in Thalia end of turn, untap Flicker Thought-Knot. I think is what I like a little bit more. No Vialing in Thalia end of turn. Oh, we just got the 2. We've got the Vial on 2 now, but still, I think I would activate there.
I think we have 2 and 3. Vial and 2, Vial and 3.
We Vial on 2 and Vial on 3 this turn, but before, at end of turn, we had 2 untapped Vials, 1 on 1 and 1 on 2.
Yeah.
We didn't Vial in Thalia, but I think I would have just,
Ooh.
yeah, I might have just Vialed in Thalia and then flickered Thought-Knot here to take the Anger, because you don't need to rush it.
I feel
Or
like
flicker draw step.
that is what I
activate it as well.
assume is going to happen.
Yeah. Here's Thalia.
Go ahead.
We're going to flicker draw step. But this thing is he has the opportunity to pact now. And he has the opportunity to pact in response to the Thought-Knot Seer trigger if he wants to. We're not going to see any of that. We're just going to see a Primeval Titan. Never mind. Here he is. Bum, ba, ba. Giant. Boom, boom. So we have 5 mountains in play currently. We can bolt a lot of things. Valakut number 2. 2 triggers. Yeah, let's give that a read. No, it's not legendary.
But you can activate Vial and Flicker Wisp a mountain.
You can Flipper Wisp a Valakut, but he's already got the triggers, so it doesn't matter.
Well, the
there.
triggers look on the stack and they check
yeah,
a
if you-
resolution.
Yeah,
so.
and yeah, if you flicker a mountain,
But then it's just gonna happen at the end of turn. So
Probably a night.
but yeah, it will happen end of turn. That's true. That's not great. The mountain re-enters and re-triggers.
I did kind of like the Flicker Wisp in upkeep, but it wouldn't have gotten around this because if you have Titan plus Pact in hand,
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to pay the 1 with Pact to get the Titan, so it would have slowed it down for a turn. So maybe that was the
Yes, actually, yes. So if you flicker draw step,
Activate Aether Vial.
take Titan Force, Pact for Titan,
Flicker Wisp one of your mountains.
slows him down a turn, and also gives him a Pact trigger.
So you control.
Yeah.
Not so they fizzle. Yeah.
So we're gonna fizzle those.
End step. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're just gonna do it again. That's
one. Oh, you get a trigger at the end
We
step?
don't gonna get some triggers. Those triggers are missed.
There, I would have called a judge if I was Trevor in that situation.
Yeah.
Although I think Nicholas is pretty dead.
Yeah, I'm not loving his chances from here. He's got a big board, but it's every mountain's a lightning bolt. There's a Primeval Titan. There's a regular lightning bolt in hand. There's a Summoner's Pact, which is going to grab some more mountains via prime time. Ugh. He's got the Gideon. What can we
Yeah,
make out
there
of
is.
Gideon?
We had some shenanigans were going on here that we're not able to call a judge here in the coverage booth. But yeah,
Crack Horizon Canopy.
We will go ahead and correct game states, but I think those missed triggers.
Crack Sunday Canyon.
Gonna redraw, looking for an answer.
I mean the game is going to probably be over the next turn. Trevor's going to play another Titan and then just go to attack steps, and then you're going to get a million triggers.
Literal a million.
Depending on how many
4,
Valor
but
cuts
a
Trevor
million.
has in the deck.
Yeah, if he gets
8 triggers, maybe, if you
oh,
have
if he
4
gets
Valor
another
cuts.
Valakut
2 more.
and a mountain.
So you get 2 more Valor cuts, then an attack, and then get 2 mountains.
And then just what? Math. 4 times 3, 12, 24. That seems fine. Pact, prime time, double Valakut, attack, dead you. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point in the game, you don't really have a lot to do if you're Nicholas, because like Pathos in and out, you can't flicker the prime time. Flickering the lands is bad. It's just all bad news here.
Yeah. Well, that's Spaghetti and Taxes just gonna lose its poor meatball here. Can we? I guess we're trying to count up to see if there's any way we can squeeze 16 damage out of this board, and as far as I can tell, there is not. Oh, we didn't even talk about the trample damage. Yeah. Watching a linear deck miss triggers, not great. I mean, you're not used to getting your mountain flicker whiffs. That's an uncommon one, though less and less uncommon now that Stoneforge is unbanned.
They are May triggers.
They are. I'm not gonna step in there. Have these giants not done enough?
I'm just gonna attack for 3.
No, get in.
13.
Bolt you.
You're-
Trevor has a lot
sorry,
more
what?
lightning bolts than you have
You're 16?
flicker wisps.
Oh,
What'd you have me at?
19.
There's another Flicker Wisps in hand. And he's a Violent 4, and there's a Thought Knot here. So we can Thought Knot, draw a step, take Pact. But he can Pact in response, so it doesn't matter. I really, really, really think that you should be Thought Knotting before he gets to untap.
Yeah, because if he packs, he'll just take whatever the pack target is. So.
Yeah, you... Oh, that's true. Never mind. So you really want to be... But if you Thought Knot before his upkeep, you can force him to have to pay the pack trigger if he wants to cast it.
So Vile Flicker Wisp, I don't think that Nicholas could have gotten rid of Primetime, because if he flickers it, we're going to get...
no, we're going to get boomed.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of turn, it would come back. Would Nick have had lethal if...
Okay, we're doing it.
Let's see. Is it?
Back to 16.
Oh!
Yeah.
Is this 16?
Yeah.
4?
The 5-5.
I missed this. 4, 8.
12, 14, or 12, 14, 16.
Well, never mind me then.
Yeah, well.
Don't take the draw.
All right.
Missed that line. That's why we get paid the big bucks, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I'm out there
I'll
a
take
total
the promo
champion, is because I'm the best at
Yeah,
this.
that's why everyone hangs out and subscribes and gives us all the money, is because we're really good at finding the best lines for decks that we don't play.
Experts. Experts. If you want to learn to play any deck, just listen to us tell you that you're stone dead with a lethal attack on board.
Yeah, that is. It was really. Well, actually,
It was a subtle line.
It should have. Nick also should have had one less creature, and it wouldn't have been lethal if we didn't miss triggers on Trevor's side.
Yeah.
But now we get to see that
I thought he was at 19.
a promo pack opened on stream.
Ooh. What we get? Prizes.
We're at the equivalent of F&M, even though it's Monday.
Yeah. M is other than being extremely hard to say, I do like calling it MNM as
Okay.
Monday Night Modern or Monday Night
Because we're
Magic, but
the
it's really
Peanut
Monday Night.
Gallery,
Oh, the
and
Vivian.
We're the peanut M&Ms,
Yeah.
and they're the.
Yeah.
but yeah, I want to thank everyone hanging out, watching us in chat, for your patience with our insightful commentary and your additions to the conversation here. We will be doing a stream at 6:45 on Thursday from the Portland Game Store, doing some Legacy action, which should be super fun. And I think both Urchin and I are actually going to be maybe playing in that.
Yeah, I'm
So,
planning to play.
Yeah, you can maybe be the peanut gallery for our matches if we happen to make it on. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out with us.
It's really good to see you guys every week. Once again, thank you so much.
Reminded me that.
You can join us Thursday. That'll be really fun. And yeah, we'll see you next Monday as well.
Great. Okay, everyone have a good week, and we'll see you soon.
What are you playing, like John? In black? Yeah, that match is tough for you.